Bad boy. I ain't come for games.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? You've tuned in live to the Flyest Sports and Entertainment Podcast in all the land. This is statlinesmatter. I'm your host, Mark E. Stewart, with my partner in crime, as always, Mr. Rob Hunter Jr.
Looking at all three cameras. Just trying to make sure I'm just giving everybody, what y'all need to work with, I'm giving it to you.
All the angles. Yeah. Before I even do the normal thing, let me do the normal thing. Like, subscribe, and definitely hit the notification so that you will absolutely know when we're doing stuff. You don't want to miss what we're doing. It's always awesome. And go check us on Spotify for the audio version of this podcast and for our live content. Please sign up for the Fanbase app where you can go in the audio rooms, the Stat Lines Matter audio room, and become part of the conversation. So, listen, before we even get into the normal thing, we were literally just having a conversation about Michael Jackson's childhood.
And you not caring about it.
Why did you care
us
about it?
As a collective here in our crew, our guys, our team, we cared about it.
No, okay. Let's put this in perspective.
We cared about him not having a childhood, and you didn't care. You said just sing.
He had a childhood.
He didn't have
singing and dancing. He had
but it was a job.
That's not a job.
It was a job.
He had a gift.
He had a gift, but they turned it into a job. They were monetizing it, which is nothing wrong. But at least
there's nothing wrong.
Let the man get on the damn merry-go-round for a few minutes.
I'm sure he rode the merry-go-round.
Later on at his crib.
No, when he built his own.
He built his own, yeah, but that's sad. That's sad.
Why is it sad?
Because when he said he was going in the studio and it was right across the street from a park and he could hear the kids laughing and playing, all of us.
And all them kids that was outside could hear him singing and dancing inside that studio getting money.
They weren't getting no money just yet, and it's just sad.
That's not sad. He was getting money every time he was singing. He was getting money.
It turned into an amazing, legendary thing. It did.
Don't try to understate it.
But at a great cost.
It turned into it.
At a great cost.
But it didn't have to go there.
Have you seen his childhood?
I have not, other than what he showed us. I was perfectly happy with what he showed us. What he showed us was amazing.
Correct, but I'm just saying what he showed us, it was a sacrifice. So you'd have felt
better about Michael Jackson if he has a couple Little League games and he went to Jamboree. What kids do?
I think every
Chuck E. Cheese birthday parties.
I think every kid deserves to get on the Little League team. I think every kid deserves to
There's some kids that was on the Little League team that didn't deserve to be on the Little League team.
That's true.
Some of them kids are sorry, bro.
That's true.
Kids I played with and kids my kids played with.
That's true. I just think that everybody watching is probably thinking about some kids that was on their team.
No, but the kids that played with me, like any of my people back from Cal City, Illinois that played, y'all, you knew who you were. You were good. And if you were sorry, you knew you were sorry.
I'm just saying. All I'm saying is you don't.
Shout out to Cal City
that
Civic
all
League.
the things and the trauma that Mike went
Jets.
through as a kid. You don't have any regret, about that.
No.
That's messed up.
I mean, we all here for something different. God gave him a gift.
I'm just saying, let him go down the sliding board.
You think Michael didn't ever get to play on the slide? See, that Mike was clowning. Like, I ain't get to do. No, Mike got to do stuff.
But it
wasn't all work.
But okay, he said that it was every now and then he would have pillow fights with my brothers in the hotel room.
Exactly.
But that's
exactly.
Just like,
that's lit. You had pillow fights in a hotel room, calling room service, mischievous at the hotel. Like, that was fun. It's better than what the kids back in Gary had, I tell you that. You want to be back in Gary? They didn't even have pillows in Gary. They still don't have pillows in Gary. Anyway.
They got murder in Gary. I've been to Gary.
I have not, and I grew up relatively close to Gary, and I've never been to Gary.
I've been to Gary and Fort Wayne. Shout out Fort Wayne.
I ain't been to either.
I was in Fort Wayne with Sam with one of
on a tour.
Yeah, on a tour, and my hotel the foundation it was leaning like that, like my bed was leaning,
which almost guarantees that they had bed bugs.
Maybe I didn't even think about that. I just know my joint was like you went in and it was the whole floor. It was like leaning like at like about 15 degrees.
I was not on that tour.
No. It was me and your brother.
Yeah, I don't.
With my brothers.
I don't. I don't really like touring unless we can tour at a certain level.
For those that are listening, the hotel room was like a high right, low left. Just picture Bobby Brown's haircut on every little step.
Had a little lean.
Yeah, it had a lean.
Anyway, before we get into what I wanted to talk about, also one other thing that I saw, and I don't know if you saw this, Shannon Sharp, his podcast called Club Shay Shay, he had Dame Dash on there. And it was a really interesting interview. You know, it was normal Dame Dash stuff, you know, that he gives you, you know, being an entrepreneur, being your own boss. And, you know, he has a certain style and flair in the way he does that. But the one thing that was interesting to me is
charismatic.
He literally sat there and got drunk, though. Like, during the thing.
I did not see it, no.
Please go watch it. Like
the whole thing?
And one of the things that was super dope is that he had some guy, I don't know if it was somebody on Shannon's staff or one of his guys that just kept refilling his drink. So like he would drink it. There's something in orange juice. So I don't know if it's like vodka and orange juice, whatever. So he's drinking it and he gets low, the guy. Cause you see a guy sneak on, grab it, and then comes back full.
Nice. And
then by the end of the show, he was like, hilarious. Go watch it.
No, I didn't see Dame Dash get inebriated on Club Shay Shay. But did you watch the whole thing or did you just watch like a snippet?
I watched the whole thing.
How long is it?
It went for an hour.
Really?
Yeah.
And you bought in for an hour.
I mean,
that's lit.
I think I agree with you. I think Dame Dash is a very interesting character and has an interesting perspective, and it rings off to me because of, you know, obviously being in the business. So he's a guy I listen to. I don't necessarily agree with everything he says, but he's interesting.
Yeah, I find him, there's a couple of guys out there that I always give an ear to. I find him inspiring. And I also think that, you know, through all the back and forth, which is really no back from Jay-Z. He's always sort of
Jay-Z doesn't respond to that
stuff. Above the fray, but nobody's ever really proven him wrong. Like no one ever called him out. No one's ever responded like you're lying. No one's ever like everything that he said, every claim that he's made, no one's ever came back and refuted it in a way that made him look like he was. Like he gets painted with the crazy brush, but every claim, at least that I've seen, no one's ever confronted him about it.
Well, and I think a couple things. I think he gets painted with the crazy brush because sometimes he's painting himself.
A little bombastic.
Yeah. So it makes it easy to put him in that box. But I'll say this, and I don't know if I'm getting the quote right, but they say success has 1,000 architects. And when you're a part of a successful thing, everybody has their little piece that they can grab from it. And his perspective is probably not the truth. And the way Jay sees it is probably also not the truth, if that makes sense, or it's probably truthful. And I think everybody has their take on it. And it doesn't mean that anybody's wrong. It just means that that's their perspective.
Yeah, you know what's interesting about that is generally, you know, when you hear disagreement or just in general, you kind of lean one way or the other. I literally don't lean either way. And I think that what Jay-Z's been able to do, the differences that he may have had, whatever they were, because I've never heard him voice them. They've been, except for in the Lost One record, which was a really good song. But you can see that the split needed to happen in order for him to become what he became.
Sure.
And I think that more so than saying what the differences were, you could see he more showed you what he needed to do in order to move on. And I think that you know, I appreciate them both.
I mentioned the other day to one of my kids, I would love to see the movie or the series.
It would be good, but
because there's so much I don't know about.
They would both, like, you have to get both sides though. You have to get Jay's input because you if Dame did it, you would just be getting his version.
No, I want it to be neutral.
They both got to sign off.
No, I want no sign off. I want it unauthorized.
And unauthorized, salacious.
Yes, because I want the truth.
But how you gonna get the truth if they ain't signing off? They both got to sign off.
No, I don't want nobody to sign off. I want somebody to be like, I'm telling a story. I saw it.
I was there. He lied.
Because like I said, man, the truth, like anytime you have something successful, anybody that breathed in the room.
Who would know then? What would it be?
It's a couple. It's a lot of people who know. I don't know all the inner workings, but everybody has people that surround him every day.
So basically, what you're saying is
that know where all the bones.
There's a bag available for an unauthorized doc.
Yeah, I'm not putting my hand up to make it because that come with a lot of. Anyways, that has some drama behind it. I wanted to talk about today. It's March, first week of March. That means March Madness is right around the corner. NCAA tournament. I used to call that Thursday, Friday, the first 2 days of the tournament, the best 2 days in sports. I used to say that when I was a kid. I used to play sick so I could stay home those days. And most years I was able to figure out how to stay home those days. I don't see it anymore. I used to love college basketball. I don't love it anymore. I'm a huge sports fan. I have not watched one college game this year. And that includes my Indiana Hoosiers. I have not watched one game. I don't love it anymore. But then I know people still get excited about filling out brackets and all of that.
That's where I am. Yeah, I enjoy filling out the brackets, putting a little $20 bracket in,
on teams you haven't seen play.
On teams that I have not seen play. I just read the breakdown and I just go.
They can say anything.
What I generally do is I go with veteran coach and then I go with, try to go with seniors.
Yeah.
If I can, because the freshmen, particularly the highly rated guys, I don't think they care enough. And we were having a conversation before we started rolling about AAU basketball. I think they see college as a pit stop.
Yeah.
So there's not as much as there's not as much put into winning the NCAA tournament as it used to be.
Yeah.
Because it used to mean a lot to get your team past the into the Elite Eight and so on and so forth. But now, recruiting is so much more about projection.
Ceiling.
Yeah, that guys go, okay, well, he never started, like Jackson Hayes,
Patrick
Williams, but they're still lottery picks.
Because they have ceilings.
Correct. So they're
versus
projecting.
Guys who have higher floors.
Yeah, they're just projecting.
That are better players in that moment.
This guy, even though he never, and then, Jackson Hayes didn't even start till he was a senior in high school.
Yeah.
Averaged 2 points a game as a junior. So you go,
but he's like 6'9".
Well, he's like 6'11", and he's he comes from a family of like just top notch athletes, and it was just one of those things where
late bloomer.
Yeah, I don't know if he had a growth spurt similar to Rodman had after high school, and Russ, I believe, had
AD.
one from juniors to senior season, et cetera. But yeah, it's about projection now. And when we talked about, you and I exchanged texts last night, and you talked about March Madness and how has it changed. I really started thinking about it because for me, my first inclination was it hadn't changed that much to me, But as I 30 seconds later, I really started thinking about it, and I started to remember all the storylines going into March Madness,
right.
Particularly in the Big East.
Yeah.
Because they had so many good teams, and they would face each other so many times a year. Even the ACC, Bobby Hurley and Kenny Anderson and Malcolm Mackey and Danny like you had all of these guys coming into and they would end up facing each other, and you already had seen them for sometimes 3 seasons,
right? And
so it was super exciting. Now, and I started thinking, I'm like, it's just like it's not the same, Rob. I'm talking to myself, right? Yeah. I'm like, you just like it. Because you like the brackets and you like to see, like, what was it, 2-3 seasons ago, we saw first time in the male tournament, the 16 seed take down the 1 seed when it was University of Maryland, Baltimore, I believe, take down UVA. And so you still get to see these stories being written right there in front of your face, and you still can have stars can be discovered, right? Like Damian Lillard, like CJ McCollum, these guys.
But you're still, even in that, you're still going back 7, 8, 9 years.
But it's still you never heard of these guys, and then all of a sudden, you turn a Mercer beats Duke, you end up, who's this kid, who's that kid, and you can still Ja Morant, you can still make a name for yourself and vault yourself to where you were maybe a G League guy. Now all of a sudden you're late first round, or maybe you even vault yourself into the lottery pick by having this highly concentrated viewership over 2 weeks, let's say, because if you make it to the Sweet 16 and you get bounced there or the Elite 8, then it's over. But
you've got
some legit film, you've got articles, you've got Sports Center, you've got, and in a way that was just unavailable to a school like Lehigh, which was McCullum School. Or Murray State, right? I mean, these schools don't have the big contracts. You're not going to see them outside of the local, but now you're watching them on whatever they come on. But I remember when Jim Nance used to come on back in the day, and they do that tournament, man, you'd be so excited. I was excited to see, the Kenny Andersons, the Brian Oliver, and so on and so forth. So it's changed. It's lost the steam because guys aren't sticking around in college anymore. But
and even the one and done guys, like, they don't seem to have a real name for themselves, because I remember, I think a pivot point for me was Ben Simmons,
NIT,
who couldn't even make the tournament.
NIT, yeah.
Like, this is the consensus first number 1 overall pick, and we should have known. I was like, it bothered me that he couldn't do it like Carmelo did with Syracuse.
Because you're going against guys who aren't going in the league, right? You're going against like 90% of the guys you play. They're going to go into the workforce. So especially if you're a guy who's going to play in the league, but not only that, you're the number 1 pick. Yeah. You should at least be able to get your team into the first week.
Yeah, like, for you to not be one of the top 64 and you're the number 1 player, it was like, we should have known something. We should have known a little something about you. Like, even like right now, I'll give you an example. Gonzaga is number 1, and I know they have the kid Chet. What's his last name? Holmgren? Chester.
Chet is not a football. It's not a basketball name. That's a football name. That's more of a Wranglers, cowboy boots.
Yeah. Chet is a guy who reports on sports.
Yeah,
not an athlete.
But for you all that haven't seen Chet can play.
Oh yeah, Chet's one and done.
Chet can hoop.
He's one and done, correct?
But it's just the name.
Yeah, but Duke is the number 2 team in the country, and I don't know one player they got. And I do a sports podcast.
I've seen them play. I saw them play their first game against Kentucky like 2 months ago. And they got this one kid, but I don't know the name.
And it's Coach K's last year, and I don't care.
That's mess. Hey, Coach K, most wins in the history of the tournament. 97.
No, he's been here. He's been here a long time, and
97 W's.
It's gonna be. He's one of the legends of the game, but I think we've lost the legendary coach. Those guys, the Dean Smiths, the John Thompsons.
What happens to Duke after Coach K leave, bro?
They gave the.
But I'm just saying, like, you can try to remake the situation. Coach K is Coach K.
Yeah, I think he handed the job to where's the kid Shire, the kid from Illinois. He was Mr. Basketball in Illinois, recruit to Duke, and then he kind of got in the coaching thing.
They do that, and Coach K's been great at that.
John Shire, I think his name is.
What was it? Capel is a head coach now.
Yeah.
The kid was
Amaker. Like, he had a lot of coaches, but were any of them good?
Tommy
Amaker's coached everywhere. I think Tommy Amaker coached.
Tommy Amaker looked good on the sideline.
Yeah, he looked
with his little suits and jackets and his little military cut. What
happened to the dude? Like, he was the talk of the tournament. A little light skinned brother was coaching, I think, at HBCU, and then he went to Texas and didn't do much there.
I don't know that guy.
You know him?
You talking about Capel?
No, not from Duke.
Oh.
He was
you're talking about Shaka Smart?
Shaka Smart.
Yeah, Shaka.
Where is Shaka?
I don't know where Shaka at. I mean, we could Google it.
That's the problem. Is we don't know what's the name of their clothing line.
Shaka
we don't know.
Was at VCU. He was at Virginia Commonwealth.
Yeah.
And then
he got the big job at Texas, and I think they just let him go. Is he at Marquette?
He could be at Marquette.
Oh,
is he at Marquette? He's at Marquette. Oh man,
yanked that one out of. Yeah. Hey, man, come on. Listen, I want to engage. It just, who does he have?
Hey, we don't know.
We don't know, man. Listen, I stopped filling out a bracket because you always send me like, oh, you going to do the bracket?
Yeah, we got to do an SLM bracket.
I don't know,
We got to do it. Put the dub on it.
I don't know.
As soon as you put the dub on it,
I feel like I'm just giving away the money.
It's exciting once you put the dub on it.
I don't even know who wins. I think you just pocket the money.
No.
You actually paying some money on?
Yeah.
I probably won.
I forget who won last year, but I sent them their bread. I lost. Or maybe I did win.
I lose every year because I don't know who's playing.
But it's transparent because you get to see my bracket. You get to see my bracket.
You do. It's like a running standing.
And we're excited about it.
On CBS Sports Line.
Yeah, I think I did win it last year. I won like $100. Wait, am I incriminating myself? Like, is this like,
man,
is
nobody
legal?
Come on, man. Listen, I may jump in, but I may let
all you do is read. The only team I know about is Auburn. That's the only one.
Right.
That's because Jabari Smith and they got a lot of players from the metro area. So, and I know Alabama too because they got a lot of players from the metro area. So, they recruit heavy here. There's a lot of the country, but yes. So you need to get in it, man. We need to get it because don't nobody even watch it. That's what make it hype.
All right. Well, this is something to do. So I'm a check into that. I wanted to talk about. We always. Even before the show started, somehow I be talking about LeBron all the time. They lost again. They're 7 games under 500. Just a quick check-in.
Hey, they got them right where they want.
Yeah. As the season just runs out.
Yeah, they gonna dude trying to tread water
until they
gonna kick it in.
Last 5 games, they're gonna go on a run.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting to come on here.
But we always end up in a LeBron, Kevin Durant, Harden, Nets, Lakers discussion. We wanted to talk a little bit about some of the up-and-coming rising stars in the league. And when I say rising, I'm not necessarily talking about the guys in their first or second year, but I'm talking about the guys that the league will be on their back in a couple years, if not now. Because at some point, LeBron's going to say enough and step on. Kevin Durant is not much younger. These guys are in their 30s. DeRozan's in his 30s. These guys that are, carrying the league, and we're going to leave it to the Ja Morants, the Jokic, the Luka Doncic, the Trae Youngs. These guys are under 23, 24 years old, and they ball. We wanted to bring some light to them in light of this stretch that Ja Morant is on, because he's doing some incredible stuff. He's putting up huge numbers, but he's doing it with flair, big shots, putting the team on his back, and they're winning, which is what I like. I always put the emphasis on that because a lot of guys can compile numbers. They get good at compiling numbers, but he's compiling numbers that are impacting his team's wins. Right now, I don't think they can reach the Suns, but they're certainly running down Golden State. They're doing everything they can to run down Golden State. So there's a couple layers in which I want to talk to you about. One, what's your assessment of Ja right now, what you're seeing? I know you're a big fantasy player, so I know you see these numbers. I know when he's getting 50 and 40, he's impacting in that world. What's your take on him? And then how do you see him relative to a lot of that sort of young contingent of players that's out there? I know a lot of those guys you like a lot. I know you're a big Jokic guy. I know you like him a little bit more. You like Doncic a little bit more than Trae initially.
A lot more than Trae.
Yeah. So give me kind of your lay of the land, because you are, and not to put you on the spot, but you are an expert, in my opinion, on basketball, and particularly this crop of players.
Okay. So, we can start with expert. If we can start.
No, dead ass though. Like you be knowing like the third guard, backup point guard on the Kings. No one knows that other than his mama.
I'm trying to think of who that is now, but they just traded. It was De'Aaron Fox, who's coming in now off the bench. Anyway, point is, because they was Halliburton, but Halliburton got traded to Indiana.
Right.
Anyway, Ja Morant. There's really, you said it all. He has definitely, and I'm not saying anything that anybody can't look up. He's taken a huge step forward this season. And the 3-point shooting in particular. Now, it's not like, it ain't Curry, but when you're shooting at 34, 35%, which is where, LeBron was shooting and, some of the more efficient players in the league, like you don't really want to go beneath that. He's taken that part of his game up. He's increased his field goal attempts from, I believe, 14 to 20.8. And I think more than anything else, you talked about the winning aspect. And I think that in a weird way, him being hurt actually helped the Memphis Grizzlies because they went and they found ways to win without him. I think they became a better team not having their leader, because they had to figure out a way to get wins, and other guys got a chance to grow, particularly Desmond Bane, Dylan Brooks when he came off of injury, Jaren Jackson, Steven Adams, Brandon Clark. Guys were just able to step up. DeAnthony Melton and Tyrus Jones. All of these guys, the collection of these guys, they ran off 10 straight without. They went from being second to last or last, I believe. They were in the bottom 3 or 4 in the league in defense, to going first in defense without Ja Morant. So when he came back in, the question became, are they going to be able to continue winning the way that they were with him? First couple of games came back, it was rough, but they found a way as a collective to not only continue to win, but to climb all the way to third in the West. They're a half game behind Golden State. So when you start talking about being able to affect wins, I think that, his supporting cast grew when he went down, which is what you hope, right? You hope that it's next man up, and they say that, but it's not like that. Those guys start for a reason. And so for Ja to be able to come back in, take the amount of shots that he takes, the usage in particular, and for them to just not only keep winning but elevate.
Right.
I think that it speaks to him and how those guys, because a lot of times that's a personality thing. Like, do they mess with you like that? Like, do they? And I think that Ja has shown himself to be a dog of dogs.
Yeah.
And you can see sometimes the quotes on social media where he'll they have little clips of his interviews like, I don't care if he's 7 feet tall, I'm coming at him. And that seems like, no, he lives that. You see that. And then for him to say it and then him to come out and actually do it and these eye-popping plays, it just galvanizes the team. He reminds me a little bit of Michael Vick of football, in a way that when a guy makes those eye-popping plays, it elevates the whole squad. And I think that he's able to do that. But more than that, it's substantive. He's actually, he was his assist down just a little bit. But I mean, this guy's out here, he's dishing the ball. He's getting rebounds. He's advancing the ball up the court. He doesn't have to take it coast to coast to try to make some amazing play. He's getting the ball up the court to Desmond Bane, who's shooting the crap out of the ball. So for Ja, I think that the team in particular is and I know this is maybe sound like an oversimplification, but he's got himself a squad, and he ain't the squad. He's got guys that and Steven Adams starting to play better as of late. So yeah, he's one of those guys that it's tough, right? You think about Devin Booker. Devin Booker before Chris Paul got there was 111 and 200 and something without Chris Paul.
Right.
With Chris Paul, he's 90 plus games and 22 losses. Now, all of a sudden, people are going, oh, Devin Booker. Devin Booker was putting up great numbers before he got there. But when Chris Paul got there, for the first time in Devin Booker's career, he went to the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And you have to be able, in order for people to really see what you're doing, winning elevates the platform. And so for Chris Paul to be able, and Chris Paul literally, since he was with, I believe it was the Charlotte or New Orleans Pelicans, has been going to the playoffs every year.
New Orleans Hornets, actually.
Yeah, and so when he got to Phoenix, it just happened again. And so so again, that's another star, Devin Booker, who
young dude, but
a young guy and he actually started playing well, as we mentioned here before in the bubble. They weren't in the playoffs, but when Chris Paul got there, boom, now all of a sudden Devin Booker's platform has been elevated. Now you're starting to hear comparisons of Kobe. His mid-range game is crazy.
Yeah.
And there's guys like Dejounte Murray,
mm-hmm.
Who out in San Antonio, who's now just really taking his game to the next level. He's averaging 35 minutes a game, and the reason why I always bring that up, because I'm a minutes guy. With those increased minutes, you're seeing triple doubles, et cetera. So Jokic is another guy. The league in particular is just become this next crop of guys. Everybody, I don't know if it was the players of the NBA, but it seems like damn near every team has a guy that you if you haven't been checking for him, you should be checking for him.
Yeah,
whether
it's
it's
worth
Julius
watching.
Randle,
Right.
Kyle Kuzma starting to play much better out there with the Wizards. Trey Young, Jimmy, who is Tyler Hero. I mean, these guys, Bam Adebayo. If you guys haven't put your eyes on Bam Adebayo, they run the offense through him.
Yeah.
So I didn't mean to dominate so much of the conversation.
What do you think about Trey though? Like, because it has to be, for a Hawks fan, it has to be a little bit disappointing to have not seen them get on track after going to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. I know I was just expecting them to go on that run, because there was a point last year when they were kind of hanging low, in the 8-9 spot. And then they went on a run, 18 out of 23. You know what I mean? And then they got back in it, and then they took that momentum into the playoffs. Now it's like, it's 20 games left.
Yeah, 20 games left. I believe we sit in 10th.
Yeah.
4-6 in our last
That
10
play-in
games
life.
in the play-in life. But I think, well, we battled some injuries early. John Collins is out again. But it is weird that we weren't able to at least have something. Well, you don't expect to be in 10th. Right. And I think that's the issue, is that we're not able to stay in that middle tier. We went on a late run last year, and in the season, not in the playoffs. Everybody knows we went to the Eastern Conference Finals, but last year, we went on a late run. But you would think with another offseason, with Nate McMillan having a full season, with at least guys coming into the season healthy, that there would be some sort of continuation or some sort of step forward. That's what you're looking for. With Trey, he plays a high risk, high reward, brand of basketball. Those deep threes, and he's not shooting poorly. I mean, it's not great. He's shooting 30. Let me look. He's shooting 35% from three, which is higher than what you would think shooting from that far away.
Right, and he's a high volume shooter.
Yeah, he ain't up on the line, but he's
shooting about 8 a game.
Yeah. And I think, so it's just, and when you have a player that small, if his shot isn't falling, he's not going to get you a whole lot of boards. He's a high assist guy. Mm-hmm. But I think for us, our problem has been, and this is where we turned it on last year, particularly in the fourth quarter. We led the league eventually in the last third of the season in fourth quarter defense. And that's the thing that I think we have to turn around in order for us to make the same charge that we made last year, which is pick up that fourth quarter defense. If we can do that, then I think that, obviously things can get turned around. But if we don't, then, it's not a sophomore slump, but it'll be, obviously coming off of Eastern Conference Finals, it'll be very disappointing. But Trey made a second All-Star game, and
yeah, Trey's a star. It just, for me, it always just comes down to, are you impacting the team? So I'll ask you this question before we move on. Maybe leaving Booker aside because they went to the finals last year. Which of these young players, I'll include Zion, who never plays, Ben Simmons as one of those young stars. Obviously, he's with Brooklyn and now, so that's a little bit different. But who's most likely to win a title in the next 3 years amongst that collective of young players? In your opinion?
That's a really excellent question. I'm going to say Ben Simmons. The reason why I say that is because you look at where Philly was last year during this time, right? They were number one in the East. Joel Embiid is 500 for his career without Ben Simmons. With Ben Simmons, he's 144 and 63. You taking Ben, and now you putting him with Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's a better player than Embiid. I'm taking him every day of the week. You taking a guy, Kevin Durant, who's an MVP, who has, won 2 NBA championships, and you're putting Ben Simmons, a top defender, also with a guy like Kyrie, and then you're adding pieces like Nick Claxton, you're adding LaMarcus Aldridge, you're adding Andre Drummond, you're adding, or not adding, but you have a Patty Mills. These are guys like every guy that I named does not have an identity. Is not going through identity crisis as a player.
Right.
They know their role.
Right.
And more importantly, Ben knows his. He's a defender. He's a distributor. You're taking a guy who's for a career 16-8-8. 16-8-8. And one of the top on-ball defenders in the league. You know what he's not going to do, which is, to much Philly fans' dismay, he ain't going to shoot no dumb shot in the fourth quarter. He's not going to turn the ball over. He's going to get the ball in Durant in a premium position to get the bucket. And I think that when you have a team, I thought that the roster construction was a bit wonky, if it could be, with Harden, because Harden's he consumes so much of the shot taking, which they had to find that rhythm a bit last year, and they did, and they had some success. I mean, they won a lot with those three guys on it. But Ben is, I think with Kyrie and I think with a guy like Durant, Ben's a perfect fit. So if I had to say of those now. But again, health, right, is wealth in the NBA.
Sure.
And I think that you take a guy like
because Brooklyn might not even make the playoffs this year.
Correct, but I think all that changes when Durant comes back. When Durant comes back,
when he comes back,
he's supposed to come back Thursday. He's supposed to come back tomorrow. So I think
when is Ben coming?
Yeah, that's a good question. Ben should have been back.
He should have, man, what?
You just play yourself back into shape.
Yeah.
Remember I said that.
Yeah.
I was like, but if you look at, I'm just saying as far as impact, right?
Yeah.
You look at what he was able to do in Philly. And, the proof is in I'm a numbers guy. And be 11-11 without him. When he's on the court, they winning all the time. And I think that speaks to what it speaks to what Ben brings as a player. I mean, you cannot, and then, he shoots 56% for a career. People say he can't shoot. He's getting 16 points. What, you want them all to come from jump shots? He's getting 16 buckets or 16 points a game. He's giving you the boards, and he's giving you a defender, and he's giving you the assist. And I think that just with in that particular scenario with the 76ers, maybe it was a bad fit. We talked about that before they even traded. Like, what do you do with a guy like Ben Simmons? And what did we say? You surround him with shooters.
Yeah, I said that on the podcast 2 years ago.
What's in Brooklyn?
Yeah, shooters.
And everybody got that strap.
Yeah,
literally everybody got that strap.
Yeah. So it sounds like you believe that Brooklyn could still potentially win this year.
I do believe that. Yes, I believe that. I believe it even more now that they got Ben. I didn't believe it with Harden. I never believed that was going to work, and I told you that. But it ended up playing out, but it didn't play out the way that I just thought they would lose. I didn't think that Harden would leave, and I didn't think that he would be hurt in the playoffs and things like that. I didn't see injuries. I thought that if anybody was going to be hurt, it would be KD or either Kyrie, because they've been off injured these last 3-4 years of their career. But you put Ben on that team, and you add with Kyrie and Durant, and then with those role players, I mean, Andre Drummond is the highest. He still was averaging like 9 rebounds a game when he was only playing like 16, 17 minutes.
Yeah.
In Philly. So you these guys know their role, and I think that's, to me,
and he looks motivated.
You don't even have to coach that.
Yeah.
And I know Steve Nash is taking his fair share of criticism and
deservingly.
Yes, and deservingly so. But these guys, when Kyrie said, I know this wasn't this current,
team.
Current team, but he said, we actually don't really have a coach. I mean, we all coaching. I mean, I think I can get out there.
He's like a little too honest for me. Like, you can't say that.
I think I can get out there and coach. I think I can be above 500 if I was a coach of the Nets.
well, I mean, they one game over 500, so he's doing that now.
Yeah, but I'm saying you look at LeBron and what's going on out there in with the Lakers. They're not one game over 500.
No.
And I know that LeBron is still putting up great numbers, but the problem is, and I think that LeBron is like when you get older, right, and you first go back to the basketball court, and everybody you kind of remember that first game where you can't really do what you thought you used to. Like, man, I used to be able to. And normally it's been like 3 years since you hoop, and you be like, man, I used to be able to. And I think for LeBron, even though he's still playing at a high level, what he used to do in Cleveland those first 4-5 years he was in the league, he was able to finish, get those guys in the playoffs because he's able to do so much more and lift, what was it, Larry Hughes? Was it Hughes? Mm-hmm. The kid from St. Louis, mm-hmm. and the Anderson Varejao and the weird roster composition then, but he was so young, he could give so much. he's still a top 10 player, maybe top 5, maybe number 1. I don't know, but he's not able to lift that weird Motley Crue roster above, to wins over teams like Portland and over New Orleans. He's just not able to do it, even though his numbers look great. In order for them to win with that roster composition, he's got to be at 35, maybe 30, maybe 40 points a night. Whereas you look at a team like the Nets, all those guys are young for the most part. And they're able to, you look at the Cam Johnson or Cam Thomas. You look at Cam Thomas. These guys, people don't know these names.
Yeah.
But these guys can play.
Yeah.
And I think that, when you're able to tread that water and then you add a Kevin Durant and then you get Ben whenever he get his mind fixed. And then, whenever they lift this vaccine mandate, because it's coming.
Yeah.
Because the I believe it was the governor. It was the governor or the mayor. He's like, I'm about to lift mine. He's like, I ain't got nothing to do with what they got going on in Brooklyn. But, once they lift that, he's going to be back.
Yeah.
And I think that.
And if they get Joe Harris, I don't know
think
what's going to happen.
coming back.
Yeah, he's having some complications with his ankle. Well, listen, let's stick a pin in the NBA discussion for a minute.
I'm sorry.
The great stuff, man. I love when you get going on your NBA stuff because you are so immersed in it.
And you guys, real quick, don't forget about the Cavs. Darius Garland and what they got going. Darius Garland taking a huge step forward without Colin Sexton, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. Those guys are playing some really great basketball. Brandon Goodwin, backup point guard there, is doing really well. And Rondo is still playing well. Sorry.
No, let your hands fly. Let your hands fly. No, that's good. That's really good NBA insight. And we're going to come back on the next podcast and talk a little bit more NBA. I want to have some fun before we get out of here because every once in a while we will run back a fan favorite here. One of our go-to things called Heaven or Hell, where me and my partner Rob Hunter decide to make a decision about, or at least pose the question about, where someone's going to go when they die based on their deeds here on earth, which is a lot of people might think is out of pocket.
But that's what we are.
Yeah, we're a little out of pocket, it's fun. So I have 3 ready to go. How many do you have?
I got, okay, so you can lead us in or not. I just did a bunch, not a bunch, but like 6 or 7. Just in case you wanted to add.
Yeah, well let's go 3 and 3 and then manage the time. I'm
ready for this.
Would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first?
Go first. You go first.
Okay, so the first person that I would like to make a decision about their salvation, about where they going in the afterlife,
going to hell, boy,
is my guy, Michael Jordan.
I thought about doing Mike, but I could not think of enough things to send him to hell on.
Well, okay, let's take a look at Michael's deeds, because that's what I do. I say let's look at his deeds. We could definitely tell through stories that we hear and stories that we heard on The Last Dance, and just what we saw and the bloodshotness of his eyes. Mike likes to drink.
I like to drink.
Mike had a bottle
on deck
coming out. He had a bottle in his hand coming out the car on his way to the All-Star.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, but
I like that.
But the bottle had that much in it. He's getting out the car.
Hey, Mike. Hey, sometimes I drink.
Yeah, and Mike wanted to hold his drink. Like, he didn't want his assistant, or he wanted to, let me hold my drink.
Hey, he like, I ain't playing today.
Yeah, so heavy drinker, heavy gambler.
I'm going to hell. I don't gamble that heavy, but I would if I had more resources. But I do drink heavy.
And a lot of just rumor. I'm not saying this, and I don't have this substantiated, but there's stories that other athletes tell about him not liking to pay up.
He be stiffing on the bets?
I heard not necessarily stiffing.
Oh, that's right. That's what the golfer was angry about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
And Mike will just keep going till he wins to get his money back.
Yeah.
Or try to figure something else out. So there's that.
Okay. Damn it.
He's obviously a little bit of an asshole. We saw that with Scotty Burrell in The Last Dance.
A little. I like all of that though, Mike.
I'm just laying him out.
Okay.
I'm laying all these things out.
From what reports that we've been getting, You've been tough.
And we know at least there was one teammate that he's punched, maybe more.
Maybe more.
Just socked.
Well, but it was one that chose to fight the bully back.
Yeah.
And he lost.
Yeah.
Now, how you gonna hit the little ass white boy out of everybody? Like, why you?
Hit Cartwright and see what happens.
Hey.
Because I get the distinct impression that you couldn't just hit Cartwright. Cartwright had grown man country strength.
Yeah, and he always had that little gray.
Yeah,
in his beard.
He had that gray since like 8th grade.
Yeah, he had that Rasheed Wallace gray.
Yeah, and then he had
just
that
stayed.
And he had that gravelly voice. Yeah, Mike, you ain't finna just coming in.
Yeah.
Mike, I'll slap the shit out you.
Yeah, and that's why I think Mike knew that. That's what made him and Oak so cool, because Oak wouldn't let nobody mess with him.
So, based on that, now obviously his good deeds is he's brought endless amounts of hours of joy to my life, into the life of Chicagoans everywhere. Championships, 6-0 in the finals. Yeah, I said it. I know people out here try to act like 6-0 doesn't matter. 6-0 matters. Winning matters. Mike was a winner. Won in college. Won a couple of Olympics. You know what I'm talking about, America. Where are we sending Mike? Is Mike heaven or hell?
Look, Mike
check in.
Created the Jordans, or him and Tinker.
We ain't gonna talk about that.
Tinker Hatfield.
We ain't gonna talk about that.
No, it matters to me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, but that's a given. Like, we know he did that.
No, I'm saying, and I just don't think. Look, man. Look. What Mike did, what he's done. He's the first majority owner of a major sports team. What he endured coming into Chicago, he had to be built a certain way in order to become the most popular athlete maybe to ever live, at least American athlete. I mean, some people may want to throw Ronaldo little ass.
No, he's the best in the world. The best to ever do it.
But and then to look at how he changed not only basketball but just culture.
Yeah.
You know, I think you just have to be built a little bit. You got to be a little bit tougher. You have to be a little bit more of a lunch pail guy. And I think that Mike was actually able to be lunch pail and be, carry a certain swag with that. That's hard to marry, because normally the lunch pail guy
is not the swag guy.
Ain't the swag guy. He was never. Both. And I think that Mike is a first ballot heaven. For me.
Okay. Squad.
Oh, yeah. How you know you can't get your drink on in heaven?
Who said
the Lord turned water into wine?
Not you saying you saying drunk. Nobody said drunk, but you can have a little sip of something. Okay. No, I said he likes to drink.
If Jesus turned water into wine, did Jesus have a drink? Does anybody know that Bible? Was he tipping down with the? Yeah, he was jaundiced.
So where is he going for you?
Heaven for me. Undecided.
You got to decide.
This is my first.
Undecided.
He going to heaven for me because of all the good he's done.
All the good
he's done.
And Mike liked the women too, and I like the women.
This is why he gets in that. That's exactly.
What I'm saying is no. Okay,
I wasn't gonna try to bring my man business.
Martin Luther King liked the women too. All I'm saying is that if Mike go to hell for drinking and gambling and liking women, man, I got to figure it out, because this is a situation.
All right, so I think we got heaven on that one. All right, you go.
Heaven. Okay,
you go. Next one.
Herschel Walker.
All right, lay him out. Lay out give us the version of
Herschel Walker is a alt-right. He's running on an alt-right Republican ticket. Which, I ain't got nothing against Republicans, but he seemed to be cozying up to Cobra Commander these last, 8-9 years in his evil regime. He seems to made his home in a perpetual sunken place. And, just really, really, me being a Georgia fan really, really hurt my feelings, with this whole, cozying up to Cobra Commander. And so, I don't like that. I think, it ain't even much after that. I think that once you get down with Cobra Commander, particularly, you being a brother from South Georgia, I would hope that you would have a little bit more sensibility about yourself. So, I don't care how many yards you rush for, if you run over with Bill Bates, I don't give a damn about none of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn about none of that. Because that's the last white man you ran over. All the rest of them, you've been counting down to. So I say, hey, okay.
Let me weigh in before we send it to a vote. I always
he probably apologized to Bill Bates since then. I'm really sorry.
Yo, that's funny.
Is it Bill Bates?
I think so. Tennessee?
Yeah, Tennessee. Yeah, definitely Tennessee. And then and then he went to the league. He played for the Cowboys too, I think.
Yeah. Back in 1980, he was a freshman, correct?
He was a freshman.
Yeah, he was
Quote the great Larry Munson.
Larry Munson. Shout out to Larry Munson, rest in peace. Legend. I used to love Herschel Walker. I ain't gonna lie. Like,
who didn't?
But I'm talking about, I'm in Illinois. I didn't get a lot of Herschel Walker games down there because it wasn't like that back in 80 when I was 10. But he wore 34. He was dope. He should have won the Heisman that freshman year. He definitely should have won that freshman year.
Yeah.
For sure. But they were on that mess.
Now I'm glad he didn't get it.
I know, right? But
goofy ass.
He's wilding right now.
Yo, super wilding.
And
Brian Kemp.
I gotta send you to hell, my boy.
Gotta send your ass to hell with gasoline.
Send you to hell, my boy.
Gasoline, what they call them? Britches.
Bye.
Yeah. Peace.
We didn't gonna put that to a vote. You gone, boy.
You gone. You gone. You super gone. With the helmet on.
Yeah.
We're gonna cover your helmet in kerosene.
Yeah.
You got the burning helmet down in there.
All right, my next one.
Hell. Sorry.
Coach Mike Ditka.
Okay, lay it on out.
The deeds. Crazy temper.
There was good deed or a bad deed?
Bad deed.
Okay, bad
Crazy
deed.
temper, out of control. We saw so much of it. One thing that particularly sticks out
with the Saints.
Particularly sticks out in my mind is I think Jim Harbaugh audibled on a play and then threw a pick six on that play. It was audible to a out.
He deserved to have
and my man
tantrum he
jumped it and took it, and like I thought Ditka was literally gonna pass out.
He probably still mad.
But I think he embarrassed the player. It's kind of a legendary thing on the sideline. He's going off. I never liked that. I think on a larger note, the beef with Buddy Ryan, I think he ran Buddy. The issue with Buddy Ryan that started even before the 85 season really started because Buddy was retained before Mike was hired. Buddy was on the team before Mike got hired. And they knew to keep Buddy. He was doing something special with that defense even back in 83. And then 84, actually, I don't know if people know this, but 84, the Bears set the record for most sacks, which still stands on as a team for the 84 Bears. So after 85, I think when the defense carried Buddy off, I think Mike had made up in his mind he's seen bad enough. So in my view, a lot of the beef and the energy there cost the Bears numerous championships. So to me, I blame Mike Ditka for running Buddy Ryan off. That's another thing.
Okay.
And then I think sort of one of the bigger issues, and at the time, I have to be honest, as much as I love this guy, everybody who knows me knows that Walter Payton is my favorite athlete of all time. I think about it in retrospect now. It bothers me more now that Mike had the opportunity to make sure that Walter got a touchdown in the Super Bowl, and he didn't. And that's obviously we're 30 going on 40 years past that.
Didn't he get a ball to William Perry?
Yes, he gave a touchdown to William Perry in the Super Bowl, thinking that we were just going to score an insurmountable amount of points or insurmountable. I don't know if that makes sense.
The lead was insurmountable.
The lead was insurmountable.
Because wasn't Grogan the quarterback?
They both played. Tony Eason and Steve Grogan.
Tony Eason, his son now is in the league. Jacob Eason. Sorry, go ahead.
That's his son?
Yeah.
I did not realize that. Yeah, Tony Eason from University of Illinois.
Look at that.
Yeah. Why does that stuff? I sometimes can't remember why I walked in the kitchen, but I can remember that shit.
Now you're making me question. Now I'm like, yeah, he better be.
Nah, I'm 100% sure about that.
Okay.
That's when the Fighting Illini used to be good.
No, I'm saying I want to make sure that Jacob. I'm almost 98%.
Yeah, that I hadn't heard. And then so that was my last thing. He didn't let Walter get that touchdown, and I think that sort of stuck in what would have been the crowning jewel of the 85 Bears and the whole nine. I think that was the thing. So based on all those factors and sort of the X factor of him coming out for Trump, which is a problem for me. Like I said, like you said, I don't have a problem with Republicans, but I have an issue with some of the things in there. So if you align with that, I'm not your guy, and that includes Ditka. So, but he did bring a Super Bowl, the only one to Chicago. That's what you put on the good side. But I'm sending them to hell.
Oh no! Hey, look, all you gotta mention is Cobra Commander, and you cozying up to that, and you out of there. He can go to hell. He can go there with a helmet on too.
Bye.
And then another thing is, I don't understand. I know we're running over on this thing, but I don't understand why you would have a problem with the defense when, first off, you an offensive guy, right? He played tight end.
Yeah.
That was his thing. So if you already got a fire-ass defensive coordinator and y'all, them boys playing for him,
yeah,
then what is the problem? And it's clear that Mike Ditka probably wasn't as good a coach as he necessarily
thought he was,
because you saw what happened when he went down to and it wasn't necessarily, it was the record that he had with the Saints, but it was some of the personnel decisions that he made, particularly the trade that he made to get Ricky Williams.
Yeah,
just mortgaging so many. So anyway, hell.
Yeah, if nothing else, just for trading the whole draft.
Yeah. So okay, next up,
you're up.
Okay, see, we're gonna have some. Let's have some fun.
Pick a good one.
Sammy Sosa. Sammy, if y'all don't play right field for Mark's beloved, I believe he played for the Sox and the Cubs, didn't he?
He absolutely did.
Hit a bunch of home runs. We had the corkback incident, and if you guys remember that. But I'm saying Sammy might be going to hell just for the pigment reassignment job that he got going on. I don't have you seen what Sammy look like nowadays?
Sammy looks insane.
Yeah, I mean,
he looks crazy.
He looked like he on Twilight or something. Like
Sammy's lost his entire mind.
Or one of them Twilight, like he the father of one of them Twilight kids. Like how do you the Twilight I
don't watch that.
But you seen how
I've never seen
how they put
so
a whole
the Twilight Zone?
No, the bunch of the vampire kids.
Nah, who watches that?
Y'all seen Twilight before? They seen Twilight. Everybody seen Twilight.
They got girlfriends and stuff.
You looking at Sammy Sosa right now? Yeah.
They got girlfriends.
He look like a Batman, like a henchman on Batman.
Yeah, no, he looks like a character. Not like somebody who ran with the Penguin.
He looked, okay, yes,
not
like
the Penguin himself,
but look like he was in there
like Penguin tight.
Like he was delivering the Riddler's letters.
Yeah,
like the little question marks.
Yeah, like and then zipping out.
Then he got a little he run off, got a little high ass laugh, looking like a fake ass lost boy. Yeah,
all of that. Sammy's bugging. Sammy's tripping. He's very much disappointing me, but Sammy's going to heaven.
What? How, he going to heaven?
He's absolutely going to heaven.
With that, with looking like that.
You know why?
He looked like a disaster.
You know why?
Why?
Because he saved, along with Mark McGwire, he saved baseball. And he saved the Cubs.
Him and his Balco steroids.
Hey.
And the juice ball.
Allegedly.
And his cork bats, and that's not alleged.
That happened one time.
Yeah, it busted one time.
Somebody hit.
You think that was
somebody hit them 600 and...
He did. No, he
something odd home runs.
Man. Hey, he used to be so lost out there right in the ball game. Like, running into that Ivy. Sorry. You got another one?
Sammy's going to heaven.
Okay, okay, so let's ask.
Sammy's going to heaven.
I say hell. Heaven. Oh, hell no.
Sammy loves
hell no.
Sammy loves this country. He loves baseball.
He don't love his skin complexion.
He did not love his skin complexion, and we gonna not talk about that. That's like Mike playing for the Wizards. It didn't happen.
But it's still going on. Like it'd be like if the mic was still on the Wizards. like Sammy's still running around the streets of.
He's not running around anywhere. Don't worry about where Sammy is. You worry about where you at.
Like, and do people act?
Worry about where you at.
People act like they don't see that when they see him. They just act like he look like.
I would.
Like
I would if I see Sammy. It's we good. Sammy, we good. I don't care what you look like. I don't care what you turn into.
Hey, ¿qué pasa? What happened?
No, I'm not asking him what happened. Like, you good. No, we talking baseball, man. That's my guy.
Okay.
All right, so my last one, So I have a theme. So this was Heaven or Hell Sports Edition, but mine actually turned into Sports Chicago Edition because my last one.
And then I just gave a Chicago one. How about that?
Look at us. Look at us. Chi-town in this.
The symmetry. I think they call it synergy. We got synergy.
So my last one is Scottie Pippen.
Heaven.
And
I don't even want to hear what you got to say.
it's just one thing.
What?
He went in on Mike on his book, so he going to hell. Bye.
Nah, but
You don't talk about Mike. It's a wrap.
hey,
You don't get no say so. Scotty, you out of here. You burn up.
hey,
You don't talk about Mike.
hey.
We don't talk about Mike round these. Like you ain't. You over on Team LeBron now.
Hey,
Bye.
hey.
You Team
know,
Bron.
Do you know Michael Jordan's record without Scottie Pippen?
No one does.
It's 105 and 94 without Scottie. Do you know what it is with Scottie Pippen? It's 514 and 177.
Yeah, they were great together.
He's going to heaven based on that difference that he made in his life.
Nah.
Michael himself said it would be no Michael without Scottie. Then I'm going to heaven. That's Mike's word.
Nah, listen.
How
Nobody.
you gonna send him to hell? And Mike said, "Hey,
Because he got out here in his book. He out here in his book.
When did the book come out?
Nobody knows.
You know,
Nobody knows. That's
You
the whole
know.
thing. He just out here.
he's just out here.
He's
wilding.
out here wilding.
And then Mike, and Scottie went through a lot. He went through his woman
Yeah.
getting freaky with somebody famous with Future.
Yeah.
All right, so that's gonna do a little bit to
Allegedly,
your head.
I don't know. Listen, I don't like to speak people's business. But
Hey, that's I remember because Future put the rhymes on it.
Yeah.
He put the rhyme.
yeah, we're
on.
not even gonna go down that road.
All right, so I'm saying
Scotty's going because of the book.
I don't get a vote in this particular instance.
He's still going,
So
no matter what you vote.
All right, last one.
Last one for you.
Last one.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
All right. So from the movie Last Dragon, Show Enough.
So we going back. No, you can't go to movie. This is a sports edition. You
But
got to go to
that's
sports.
sports.
That's not sports. That's
was
a film.
karate.
And you've done this one before 3 years ago.
But everybody ain't see that episode.
But we can find another one.
We'll find another one. All right. We're gonna find another one. That's messed up. I wanted to do Show Enough. He slammed old boy into the trash can.
We remember. You mentioned that before.
Well, I ain't got over it yet. All right. Mike Tyson. Heaven or Hell. Mike robbed people incessantly throughout his teenage
As a as a 9 and 10-year-old.
No, it's 12 and 13 and 14 and 15 and 16. He said he would go up there with cuss and come back on the weekend, cuss the motto and Catskills and come back on the weekend and still rob folks. Mike, heavy to his own admission, heavy drug abuser. Let me read what else I got on here. Bit Evander Holyfield's ear off.
In front of the world.
Bit it twice. He bit the first one and then came around and then got a chunk. Mm-hmm. And they was already in a fight. You already in a fist fight. And then you go, and then he removed his mouthpiece and got his teeth on it. That's messed up. Announced to the whole entire world that he wanted to actually eat Lennox Lewis's children.
And then he said, praise be to Allah.
Yeah, praise be to Allah. And he also,
right after that,
he also told a reporter that he wanted to have anal sex with him in front of everybody. He said he would do it to him till he loved it. He would make him love him. Yeah. And called him a F word.
Yeah.
So, having said all of that, now he did have a nice little one-man show. I thought it was pretty entertaining. From what I understand, is in the weed business now. Youngest heavyweight champion in the world at the time. So there's that. Mike Tyson.
And there's that little rape situation, and
I didn't want to bring that up.
Yeah, there's that.
There is a rape, but hey, for what it's worth, I don't even want. I can't even. That's a touchy one. There was a rape situation.
Well, and a conviction.
And a conviction.
Because I feel like you were moving to like allegedly. No, it's no longer allegedly.
It's not alleged. He did the time.
Yeah.
He did the time.
Yeah.
But Hurricane Carter did the time too.
Now, based on the fact that he threatened anal rape on a man in front of an audience,
do
you think it's more possible or less possible?
And he bit Lennox Lewis's leg.
And there's that.
So he has.
I'm just gonna say I'm gonna send him to heaven because I don't want him coming for me.
Yeah.
I don't want no smoke with Mike. So
Hey.
see you in heaven, buddy.
Hey, Mike, and if you do go to hell, it ain't because of me, bro. Like
yeah, it's kind of it's that list of things that he just named off. But I just want to say for this show, for entertainment purposes only, I say heaven.
And I say heaven too, Mike.
Because I still think you got a little bit of that anger in you, and I don't want no part of it.
Well, and then I don't want you waiting for me if I do go to hell. And then
At the
next thing
gate.
you know, you be like, I'm already in hell. Now I got to fight you in hell. Like, that's the double hell.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't want you waiting for me in heaven either.
Yeah, like heaven.
Yeah, heaven for Michael Tyson.
We'll see you up there.
Yeah, well, hey, Mike, see you in heaven.
I'm gonna have a sports area, so you watch sports with me.
Yeah. We could talk boxing.
We can talk boxing. Anyway, man. Well, listen, that was fun. I'm sure just hold some of those that you got other than Show Enough. Show Enough was wild though.
Yeah, Show Enough was wild.
Show Enough was scary looking too.
Because if you went to the pizza shop and Bruce Leroy wasn't there, why didn't you just leave?
Yeah.
Why you gotta like
tear up? Did he tear up the spot?
Yeah, he tore it up. It's a black-owned business. Like, what is that?
You know what the best thing about that?
How many black men own pizzerias?
Not many. That was a bad movie.
Was it Daddy Green's Pizzeria?
You know too much.
You know
too much about this.
Let your pizza take you to Daddy Green's Pizza.
Awful tagline. Awful. that was bad in real life and the movie.
And go ahead.
No, but I'll say, you know what the best thing about that movie was?
What? Vanity.
Rhythm of the Night.
Oh, yeah.
By DeBarge, written by Diane Warren.
Diane Warren did write that, and it was fire. I thought one of the most fire parts is when Bruce Leroy caught the bullet in his teeth. And then he got the glow.
That was actually stupid because you can't do that.
But I didn't.
You just be shot in the mouth.
When I was 7 years old,
blew your head out.
I couldn't believe it. I thought Bruce Leroy was dead, and then he was in the little
in real
water.
Life, he would be dead.
And then all of a sudden, he lifted him up, and then they had that bullet, and it was and he got that glow. You know, when you got the glow, you feel the glow. You know the glow. It was like the rap, the glow. And then he said, "Who's the master?" And then he said, "I am." That wasn't lit.
I think what happened.
Did y'all see? Y'all still ain't seen.
They've never seen that. Why would they see that?
They seen it. He seen it.
You've seen that movie? Why?
I think that Christy wanted me to see.
I saw that movie at the theater.
I saw it in the theater too. You didn't think it was lit?
No. That movie was trash.
I didn't think it was lit then. I'm saying now.
I know why you thought it was lit, because you look like that dude. You look like that guy. You look like Bruce Leroy.
Okay.
You probably thought you was him.
Well, there's that, but I also was a huge martial arts guy at that time. And I never seen black people in a martial arts movie before.
You never seen a Bruce Lee movie?
No, I saw that like when I was like 11. That's Enter the Dragon with
what's his name? Jim Kelly?
Jim Kelly, yeah, Jim Kelly.
He's black?
Yeah, he is black, but he ain't had no fire ass movie like Enter the Dragon. I mean, The Last Dragon. He was in there for like 5 minutes and then got killed.
His 5 minutes in Enter the Dragon was better than the entire Last Dragon bonus clips, editor's cut, the director's cut.
Shout out to Barry Gordy.
Everything.
Shout out to Barry Gordy.
Shout out to Barry Gordy for dropping Rhythm of the Night onto that soundtrack. That was a
Motown production.
Only thing good.
And we love that. And dropping Vanity off in that thing too, shouted. Vanity.
Rest in peace. Vanity as well.
Oh yeah, R.I.P. Yeah, man. But I mean, catching a bullet in the teeth was lit. It was lit at the time, of course. Now because we thought it was because when he got hit with the shot, he went like that. And then once he did that, he feel like no, he's like Show Enough is gonna win this thing, and he didn't.
I was kind of rooting for Show Enough.
What?
Yeah, I thought Bruce Leroy was corny, bro.
He was trying to find what was he trying to find? The answer.
See, because back in those days, I was kind of a bully, so I was with tearing up the pizza.
You
shop.
was the gooch?
Nah, I mean, I don't know, but nobody ever saw the gooch.
No, but you used to call that kid the gooch.
Yeah, we used to call a kid at school the gooch. Anyways,
you hurt his feelings.
I did.
Please don't call me the gooch.
Let me just say this. Anybody
you said, okay, right, gooch.
Listen, that did happen. Anybody back that I bullied coming up, I apologize.
And you would need to apologize to me first, since we right here. You bullied me.
I will never.
When I was an intern. And even if you bullied me off the PlayStation.
Okay, you should. If you're interning, why the fuck you on a PlayStation?
But it was because you lost. That's the only reason. When somebody else lost, you didn't use your power and your position to not give up.
It depended on who they were.
I'm saying if Tab lost,
Tab was my partner.
Yeah, but you used to let me get on with Tab lost. And you lost. You was like, I'm not getting off. I'm not getting off the stick.
Nah, that's what. I mean, it was my PlayStation.
That's just so you bullied. So would you like
That's
to?
That's not
apologize?
bullying. You should even.
Would you like to
you're
apologize?
interning.
Would you like
Why
to
are you playing the
apologize?
game?
Because we used to play together all the time.
Nah.
It wasn't like that. That standard wasn't set. We all used to get on the sticks.
I could honestly say if I still played, I would flex in exactly that same way.
So you don't want to take this time to apologize to me?
I do not. Not for that.
Okay.
Is there anything legitimate that I did bad to you? Like, let it out now. Tell the people.
No.
Is there anything?
Well, no. Not that.
Did I ever bully, like legitimately bully you?
Not that's worth apologizing for. That's like in the 80s, like bullying is just part of it. Make you a better person. Make you a better man.
Yeah, I mean,
I like wherever they have like okay, they have the anti-bullying thing, and I'm looking for the support bullying thing. Like, where is the what color do you wear if you support bullying?
it's hard to.
Because I support both, right? I support, hey, you shouldn't be bullying. But, hey, bullying, it made me. I got bullied in high school and in some cases in elementary school for sure.
I never got bullied.
Oh, man.
I never got what I thought was bullied. If anybody was bullying me, it didn't work because I didn't believe you.
No, I got hit. Like, I got, older guys.
Oh, no, I never had that.
Yeah.
Because I had an older brother.
Yeah, I ain't had that. I used to wish I had that because of that.
Oh, no. When you got an older brother, that keeps a lot of, that's like a lead blocker.
Man, this dude rolled my bus home and whooped my butt. Whole 2 grades older than me in elementary school.
Yeah, that's not even a fair fight. I never fought. I would never fight a kid younger than me. But then, like I said.
So the next day, no, he tried to threaten me again. And that's when I brought my Rambo survival knife to school.
You told me that
I was going to stab that.
Yeah,
person.
that was you gonna end up on the news.
I was gonna stab him. If he did that again, I was gonna stab him because he said he was gonna do it again. And I was like, I went home and I just was like, I went in my drawer and I got the knife was heavy and I got it and it was like the compass was shaking because it's at the end like. Bloop, 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 bloop. Like,
how old were you?
I was 11, I believe.
I think we should devote a show to why you had a knife at 11.
My dad bought it for me. So, and we were leaving the store and I was like, can I have this? And he was like, go ahead. And I was like, I could not believe it was going beep. And I was like,
there was
what?
Nothing positive.
No, because I was going to stab the shit out that dude. I was going to stab him and commit murder at 11.
Yeah.
I was going to try to murder him. I don't know if I was going to succeed, but you never know with a blade. I could hit an artery. I might
have had to get you out through the Innocence Project or something. You might know each other in a very different way. He was bullied.
Hey, and you know what though? They didn't suspend me. They took the knife. One of my friends, I got ratted on twice bringing a knife to school, and one of my friends.
You should have, bro.
But I'm like, if I'm telling you, I'm getting bullied, and I'm like, and I show you in the bag, I'm like, he tried today, I'm gonna stab his ass. And then all of a sudden, next thing I know, every administrator in the whole school is coming in there getting me out.
Who's the kid who did that? Shout him out.
I don't know, right?
Because
I think it was Tom Hall, but I'm not sure.
Well done. You saved a life. You might have saved his, and you might have saved that other guy.
But I think two kids saw it. And then everybody came down there, and then I'm in the thing, they're like, open your bag. And then they saw the contraband.
Yep.
And but the other kid honestly was like a serious bad apple, and I think they knew that.
Yeah.
So they let me ride. Yeah. They took the knife. I never got it back.
Again, what was the name of the principal?
Mr. Durham.
What is it?
Mr. Durham.
Mr. Durham.
Yeah.
Well done.
Tall ass white dude.
Take the knife away from the 11-year-old murderer.
I didn't kill. Would be murderer. Yeah, you can't call me
would
that.
Be because your intent. You left the house.
Well, to protect myself.
Yeah.
Because he said he threatened me again, and then he had followed through on the other threat. And so I was like, all right, well, I don't know. I ain't tell my mama or nothing. I just I'm gonna kill this person.
Well, listen, thank you for tuning in. That was a lot. I'm glad that nobody got hurt that day. Appreciate Tom and Mr. Durham.
His name was, I forgot his name. Last name was Titus, though. The dude who bullied me.
But don't call him up. I don't want him checking in.
I was ready then. I'm ready now.
That's so funny. Well, listen, I'm not even going to tell you to check in. Just watch us on YouTube and Spotify. And shoot, I'm Mark Stewart and
Rob Hunter.
this is Rob Hunter. This is Stat Lines Matter. Peace.
Peace.
Bad boy. I ain't come for games. Say it to my face. Say it to my face. I ain't come for games. Say it to my face. Say it to my face.